she's back.
Hello, I am currently standing on the Madeleine, the ship that on Sunday, June 1st, will attempt to again sail towards Gaza and to try to break the siege and open up a humanitarian corridor by delivering aid like food and medical supplies.
That's right. Swedish environmental activist turned indigenous land rights activist, now turned Palestinian activist, Greta Thunberg is once again making headlines. This time she's participating in a mission to Gaza as part of the Freedom Flotilla coalition. She and 11 other activists set sail on June 1st from Catania, Italy, aboard the vessel Madeleine. Their stated objective is to breach the Israeli blockade and deliver urgent humanitarian aid to the besieged Gaza Strip and bring mass global awareness to Israel's war crimes. And on the way, of course, what leftist protest would be complete without singing?
Break the siege of the silence. When they hide the children, when they hide what they found is our duty to show. Not a religious war, not a violent people that causes imperialism. Both the old and the new, the thing that they...
Wow, man, that set guitar playing back 7 years. Now, of course, all of these activists know they're not going to breach an Israeli Defense Force blockade. This is all for publicity. It's all for cameras to focus on them. But unfortunately, let's just say things didn't turn out quite the way Greta and her activist ilk had planned.
Hello, everyone. We are reporting here from the Madeleine. We are right now at 80 kilometers from Greek lands and 68 kilometers from Greek territorial borders. What happened is that we just spotted a drone and we confirmed it is a drone, but we just lost visual with it. It could have either turned back or turned off the lights. And we sound the alarm for you. Now we count on all of you to share what's going on here and to please let the world know that we are 80 kilometers from Greece and we need your help.
So they are officially in distress. They're calling for everyone, all of us, stop what you're doing. Stop it. And you need to give all your attention to them right now, to these woke far left activists, and you need to send a distress signal on their behalf because they didn't bother to plan ahead for that. They thought they could sail right into a war zone, and suddenly the radiance of their presence would cause all of the combatants to beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. I think the satirical Babylon Bee once again captured the sentiments of the world with the headline, Hamas agrees to surrender if Europe will just take Greta Thunberg back.
How dare you?
Yeah, well, how dare you is right. Sorry, Greta. I think that Babylon Bee pretty much sums it all up. Now, as I alluded to earlier there, this is but the latest escapade to garner the attention of Greta's narcissistic activism. Prior to this, some months back, she was detained by Norwegian police during a demonstration in Oslo. And if you could believe it, Greta was actually protesting wind farms. Now, why that's so bizarre is that wind farms are basically the heart of green energy. And we were always led to believe that Greta is not merely a climate activist. Greta is actually the patron saint of green energy. So how on earth can the patron saint of all things green be protesting against wind farms, you may ask? Well, what she did is she simply took up a new cause. As it turns out, activism for Greta only began with her demand for environmental justice. You see, the problem is much of the world unfortunately took Greta's advice, particularly Sri Lanka and the European Union. They turned their backs on fossil fuels. They turned their backs on manufactured fertilizers and the like. And as a result, their worlds have since fallen apart. Europe, as we speak, is going through a cost of living crisis, the likes of which hasn't been seen in decades. So now, starving for that attention she's apparently become addicted to, but also recognizing that green energy ain't as popular as it used to be given the cost of living crisis, Greta began protesting, if you can believe it. She began protesting against the very green energy she originally advocated. Instead, she transformed into an advocate for the Sami people, an indigenous people group in Norway. As it turns out, the Norwegian government had set up wind turbines in the Fosen region of western Norway, where Sami families practice their culture of reindeer husbandry, which is being stifled by the wind turbines. And so Greta and her human rights cohort decided to protest the operation of wind farms on this indigenous people's land. Now, if your cynicism radar happens to suspect that this is nothing more than an attention-seeking stunt on the part of Greta, whether it's on behalf of indigenous peoples or on behalf of Gaza, or as it turns out, even on behalf of the environment, you're not alone. And I'm going to show you the proof that Greta is actually nothing more than a deliberate legacy media fabrication. But first, while the corrupt federal elites have been quietly building wealth through cryptocurrency, hardworking American patriots have been left behind. But there's an amazing solution to that. I want to tell you about Block Trust IRA. They're bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to real Americans. Now, you all know I'm a big fan of crypto. It's supercharging President Trump's America First economic miracle. And now you can be a part of it. I partnered with Block Trust IRA because their mission perfectly aligns with President Trump's Make America Great Again agenda, smashing down the barriers between loyal patriots and the financial freedom they deserve. Their Animus AI trading platform works 24/7, analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that are beyond simply buy and hold, helping true American patriots build impressive wealth in Trump's historic economic boom. There's a reason their system was named the #1 crypto technology platform by Bitcoin Magazine from over 1,500 global competitors. So whether you're a teacher, a truck driver, small business owner, or retiree watching inflation eat away your 401k, Block Trust IRA's advanced Animus AI gives red-blooded Americans the same advantages as those coastal elites. So right now, their clients are seeing over 250% returns on their investments. You heard that right, 250% returns. And with military-grade scrutiny, investments are protected by up to $200 million in insurance. So what are you waiting for? Visit TurleyTalksCrypto.com and find out how they can help you join the Trump Crusade financial revolution that's finally giving forgotten Americans access to the greatest crypto wealth opportunity in history. For a limited time, they're offering my viewers up to $2,500 in bonus crypto when you open an account. That's absolutely amazing. So do not wait on this. Crypto created 80,000 new millionaires last year. Why not you be next? Visit TurleyTalksCrypto.com. That's TurleyTalksCrypto.com, making retirement great again. The fundamental reason why Greta garners so much media attention is simple. She's the creation of the media. Greta Thunberg is the intentional, deliberate fabrication of the worldwide legacy media. She's a literal creation. The Daily Caller originally broke the story back in November of 2019, just shortly after her "How dare you" speech, when members of the global media gathered at Columbia University School of Journalism to collaborate on how they would cover the so-called climate crisis leading up to that year's United Nations Climate Conference. Now, according to the Daily Caller, over 250 news outlets and journalists partnered with Columbia University School of Journalism to intentionally shape and control the narrative for what they considered to be the global climate crisis at the time. Obviously, they've since taken up burning Teslas. And as the Daily Caller notes, this coordinated activism intentionally fabricated a hero, a megastar, a saint, to carry their message of climate alarmism to the masses, particularly to the youth of the world. And that, of course, was none other than, at the time, this 16-year-old Swedish climate activist named Greta Thunberg. You see, the whole purpose of lionizing Greta was to galvanize American support in particular for the radical policies being advocated by environmental activists, which of course means that we're not looking at news here when it comes to Greta. We're staring straight in the face of blatant left-wing propaganda. And it all climaxed with Greta getting Time Magazine's Person of the Year. However, what happens to be so interesting here is that Greta appears to be the victim of her own success. So as the world increasingly turned away from the economic apocalypse that her greenflation, that came from the greenflation of her environmental activism, Greta's had to find other causes to keep the cameras turned in her direction, which ironically has caused her to denounce the very environmental justice that put her on the media map in the first place. Which means, in the end, that all the causes that she champions, the environment, the rights of indigenous peoples, and now the Palestinians, doesn't matter. The common thread to all of these causes is Greta herself. It's a classic case of narcissism. Narcissists are driven by an inflated sense of self-importance and self-aggrandizement, along with a constant need for admiration and approval. Their relationships are typically centered around gaining validation and admiration from others, and often that involves manipulating and exploiting others. And unfortunately for the leftists, manipulating and exploiting their plights and their sufferings so as to bring attention to themselves and maintain their own inflated self-image. Liberals love to exploit the sufferings of others so as to enrich themselves. They're not called champagne socialists or limousine liberals for nothing. The good news is, as Greta proves, nobody takes any of this even remotely seriously anymore. Greta and the media that created her are the objects of mockery, ridicule, and derision, as they ought to be. The world is moving beyond this tired, old, out-of-date left-wing performance art. And Greta should get the hint and move on as well. Hey there, Turley Talker. You know what? I'd love to hear from you. That's why I'm launching the Dr. Steve Hotline, where you can call in, leave a question, and maybe even hear your own voice featured on an upcoming episode of the show. Whether it's about the latest political shakeup or cultural trends or how we keep pushing forward in this new conservative age, I want to know what's on your mind. Call me at 717-844-5984. Just leave your question. I'll be checking in every single week to answer as many as I can. Again, that's 717-844-5984. Your chance to be a part of the conversation. One more time, 717-844-5984. Give me a call and let's talk.